And what happened last year when you were there?
We were back there for this anniversary. We had a great group. Larry Summers was there, former Secretary of the Treasury. Ben Steele, the author I mentioned, our friend Julian Tett from the Financial Times. It was a very interesting and high-level group, and a younger crowd, a lot of crypto people. But one of our sessions was closed door, off the record. So I can't mention the names or exact quotes, but one senior official from one of the regional Federal Reserve banks, one member of the Board of Governors, and one governor of the ECB. So this was the real deal. These were among the top central bankers in the world. And I could see this coming, but I was surprised how relaxed they were. So we got to cut rates. So I mean, if investors want to know what's going on, they're going to cut rates probably close to zero, or maybe even zero by this time next year. And they said, yeah. And they had a really nuanced grasp of the difference between real rates and nominal rates, which most people don't have. You know, I go back to the bond market in the early 80s, and I have friends who are still trading bonds. And one by one, they're getting carried out feet first. And we saw this even with bond king Jeff Gundlach, David Isaacson of PIMCO, et cetera. What they say is rates are at an all-time low. They can't go any lower. This is the greatest bond market bubble in history. You know, short the bonds. Wrong. Nominal rates are low, but real rates are not low. I remember in 1980,
this takes into inflation into account.
Correct.
Right.
In 1980, I got my first mortgage, and I paid 13%. I told my mother, and she cried because her mortgage was like 3% in 1950. I said, Mom, you have to, yeah, it's a 13% mortgage, but inflation is 15%. So my real rate is -2, and it's tax deductible, and tax rates were 50%. So I got another 6 points of tax benefit. So my real rate was like -7 after taxes. The bank was showering money on me to be a borrower. Mom was so upset, but the point is, that's a negative, 13% nominal rate, but a real rate of -2 before tax. Today, our nominal rates are low, but real rates are not low because inflation is declining. We're in a disinflationary period, and again, I know that, but what the central bankers were saying was, yeah, we got to get real rates negative. And normally you just cut the nominal rate. So here's inflation, cut the nominal rate, get it below inflation, and you have a negative real rate. But they said the problem is the rate of inflation is declining. So we're like a cat chasing its tail. We're racing inflation down, trying to get under it, but it keeps going lower. So we're probably headed for zero, and then they start talking about negative rates.
And so for the average investor, what does that mean? They should look at hard assets like golds? What does that mean?
Gold definitely, but you should look at Treasury notes. This has been one of the greatest bull markets in Treasury history. And not to get too technical, but for those who understand, what they call duration or convexity, but the easiest way to explain it, when interest rates go down, bond prices go up. It's kind of counterintuitive, but rates down, prices up. So when rates are being cut, you get capital gains on your bonds over and above your coupon. But the amount of the capital gain increases per basis point of rate cuts at lower levels of rates. Again, so no, it's cutting from 2 to 1.5 gives you a bigger capital gain than cutting from 9 to 8.5. It's still a 50 basis point cut, but the bond math is such that the capital gain is even bigger.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going from 10-year note yield to maturity today is around 1.8, give or take. If we're going to 80 basis points or 50 basis points, which I think we are, you're going to have huge capital gains on 10-year Treasury notes.
So you're making a lot of money, and every basis point cut, you're actually going to be making more money. As they go lower and lower.
More per basis point
kind of basic bond math stuff. So
correct.
This is interesting stuff. So long those Treasury notes.
Long Treasury notes, long gold, other hard assets, real estate. I mean, again, if rates get, the real estate, if it's fully leased up or if you're just living in it and you get a rent equivalent, is just like a bond. You cut rates, the value of the rental stream goes up.
I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up.
If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?